After a thrilling semifinals, 4 games coming down to the wire, 2 overtime games with 1 game-winning 3 going in, another spinning out. The stage is set for Championship Sunday for the CACC. Good afternoon, Tim Jimenez, Mike Andrewson here on the CACC studios for the finale of the CACC Women's and Men's Basketball Championships. The tournament is wrapping up today, and on tap, the final 4 teams in the conference. Game number 1 for the women, for the Women's Championship. It features the top 2 teams in the North, top-seeded Post and number 2 Dominican. Later on this afternoon, about 2:30, after the nets have been cut down, it is the top seed in the North, Caldwell, taking on the top seed in the South, and the tournament host, Jefferson University. Mike, my goodness.
You know, you kind of hope that the championship games will give us just as much fun and excitement as the semifinal games did yesterday.
And they were all thrillers, all coming down to the wire. Missed free throws. Again, we talked about some of these, a shot that went in, a shot that went out. It was unbelievable.
Baskets that were made with people lying on the ground, throwing up the ball to go in. I know I've been saying it all weekend. It's exciting to watch. You love that these athletes are just kind of leaving it all out there. I know it's kind of cliche, but, you know, some athletes this might be their last time putting on that team uniform. But there's another group of athletes that are hoping to continue on and play next week at the regional tournament.
Exactly. Continue on in the NCAA tournament. So the stakes are high. The conference championship, of course. So we'll talk about the game number 1 here that we're going to be seeing. It will be Dominican and Post here, Mike. So both these teams, again, coming off of emotional, hard-fought victories yesterday. We're going to start with this Dominican team that defeated the number 1 overall seed for the women in Jefferson, 72-71 in overtime.
It was quite an accomplishment. Got to hand it to Coach Diener. What JR said in his review of what was going on, defense was the key. He kept changing his defenses. Got Jefferson into a couple of different things that they weren't really sure of. Had 4 players finish in double-digit scoring. When you get into playoff basketball, you need production from different people on the bench. So kudos to them. They shot the ball 48% from the floor, and their season average is only 39. So you kind of wonder if they can keep up that kind of force and that stick-to-itiveness to make those shots and to have it go in your direction. DeMarsico with the game-winning 3 was just something that's got to be on a highlight reel here in CACC lore for a long time. That was just a clutch shot from a player that just knew she needed to step up. You know, Dominican made 6 3-point baskets. You know, Suarez had 19 points. You know, there's a player that you knew was going to contribute, but you didn't think that she was going to be the top player on the score sheet. You're always thinking that Mills was going to be that person, but you got to hand it to this group, man. This time of year, just get it in the basket.
And yeah, you talk about getting into the basket. That DeMarsico shot, just unbelievable play down the stretch there. And Haley Meinl, the CACC Player of the Year for Jefferson, made some good defensive plays down the stretch.
2 tremendous plays, yes.
And you think, okay, maybe Jefferson has it here. Emily Keefus goes to the free throw line, and then she missed one of them, and then you have an opportunity to win the game. That shot takes guts.
That's a dagger. You're right. You know, everybody who's watching basketball, you're doing that in your backyard, at the basketball hoop in the driveway, but she got a chance to live it, and she made it, and all the power to her, man.
And in her post-game interview, it was interesting. She talked about how she gave credit to her team.
Team first.
It wasn't just, I made this great shot, as we're seeing right now on the screen, but she gave all the credit to her team.
Yes. You love to hear that this time of year. I think you have to hear it. Yeah. There's no room for egos. I need the person who's going to make shots. I need the person who's going to get rebounds. I need the person who's going to take a charge. I don't care who it is. Let's just get it done.
And she got it done. The team got it done. They will be taking on Post. Post defeating Holy Family 60-57 yesterday. A really tight game. Holy Family went up late at the end of that one. 3:07 left. They were up by 3. Some empty possessions. Kiara Eubanks, how about her stepping up at the end there, Mike?
She made the basket from her back. I hope we have a highlight of that coming up at some point. She had 13 points. She made 2 big free throws and then made the basket and one as she's falling to the ground. That's another highlight video that will be in CACC lore. I tell you, they made 8 3-point baskets yesterday. Can they do it again? Right. You know, Post is a team that can make those baskets. They shot the ball from the floor a little less productive than they traditionally do. They only shot 32% from the floor. So, that's probably a topic of conversation. We got to make more shots, But, Eubanks, Simmons, Haynes only had 9 points yesterday. She's a first-team all-conference performer. I'm sure when she's looking in the mirror this morning, she's thinking that I'm going to produce.
Yep, 4 of 22 from the field, only 1 of 8 from beyond the arc for Haynes. So what type of game will she have today? That is something to look forward to. This is the 39th meeting between these two programs. Dominican 26-12, so they've had the advantage, but this season they have split the season series. Last time out, Post won 74-68. That was on February 22nd. The Eagles had 14-point leads in the second and third quarters. They were up by 9 after three quarters, but the Chargers really battled back in that one, tied it up. Post did pull away with the victory there, so that was quite the game. And then the game before that, it was in December 3rd, Dominican won 70-55 there. Dominican winning despite actually being out-rebounded by a huge margin, 53-35, and they gave up 24 offensive rebounds. But they outshot Post 45% to 23%.
You know what? When it all comes down to it, you ask any basketball coach in this arena. We all take our cue from Herb McGee. You've got to make more shots.
That's it. Simple. Just make more shots. You need what? Just 1 more point than the other team.
Dean Johnson told me that yesterday. I'm looking to score 1 more point than the next team.
So it should be an interesting matchup, a fun matchup here between these North teams.
Yes.
And then after that, later on tonight, it's Jefferson, the men, taking on Caldwell for the men's championship, Mike, and that should be another great game after a couple great games yesterday, but here we are for the championship.
A thrilling regular season game between Caldwell and Jefferson, an end-to-ender. Evans for a layup to go ahead. Jefferson spent a lot of energy last night winning that game in overtime against Bloomfield. Bloomfield's a tough team.
Yeah.
I don't care where you're playing them, when you're playing them, they're always a tough team. And a lot of excitement in this building. Game got over late.
Yeah.
So you wonder when you get home, or you're just laying in bed looking at the ceiling because you can't fall asleep just yet. We'll talk more about that game as we get to it, but it's going to be fun.
Yes, we will. Certainly will be. And thank you, Mike. And we're going to head over to the broadcast team, Jerry Milani, and the CACC analyst, Ben J.R. Dinello.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. That's a great kind of recap of yesterday and a little preview of today. And, in boxing, JR, they say styles make fights. In basketball, styles make for great basketball games. These are contrasting styles today to a degree, and I think we saw it in the 2 games that they played, not only yesterday but against each other, but this should be some matchup today.
Well, and first of all, hello, good to see you, my friend. I think that this is such an intriguing game because a week ago, did anybody think that this would be our final? I don't think many people would have thought this would have been our final. So right now you have teams that know each other very well, played 2 relatively close games in the regular season, but know each other very well. We talked to Coach Bill Diener a little bit before the game, and I asked him about the defenses that he played yesterday against Jefferson, because I almost got the sense that they didn't do a lot of that before, and he said, oh no. And, he referenced his assistant coach, Kyle Jarrett, who really runs the defense. And, these are things that we do. We may not do them often. But I'd be curious to see what they do today to give Post a little bit of a different look, to try to get them, like they did to Jefferson, somewhat out of rhythm. Whereas Post, I don't think that's happening. I think what you see is what you get from Coach Plefka's team. I think they're going to come right at Dominican, come right at them, try to hit them in the face early. Just like we talked about yesterday, though, role players, the supporting cast players, which ones on either team are going to make the difference today?
And the guys referenced some of that. We'll get to that in just a minute. Right now, we're going to take a break for the national anthem and the introductions to the starters. You are watching the CACC Women's Basketball Championship on the CACC Network, powered by BTV.
Number 1 seed Post University Eagles. At this time, we ask that everyone in attendance please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. And now let's meet the starting lineups for Dominican and Post for this women's basketball championship final. At guard for Dominican, a 5'10 graduate student from New Fairfield, Connecticut, number 23, Kristen Techlitz. At forward for Post, a 6-foot junior from New London, Connecticut, number 30, Tina Pagan. At guard for Dominican, a 5'6 redshirt junior from Poquok, New York, number 24, Alexis Suarez. At guard for Post, a 5'8 senior from Springfield, Massachusetts, number 33, Shariah Haynes. At guard for Dominican, a 5'4 redshirt junior from Stony Point, New York, number 2, Olivia Levy. At guard for Post, a 5'9 junior from New Haven, Connecticut, number 0, Tyree Allen. At guard for Dominican, a 5'5 redshirt sophomore from New City, Connecticut, number 4, Tanisha Mills. At guard for Post, a 5'7 graduate student from Accokeek, Maryland, number 1, Kiara Eubanks. At guard for Dominican, a 5'9 first-year player from Naugatuck, Connecticut, number 13, Kayla Howard. And at guard for Post, a 5'5 senior from Plainfield, New Jersey, number 21, Jyla White. For Dominican, the head coach is Bill Diener in his 13th season. He's assisted by John Burke, Kellyanne Dunlay, Kyle Jarrett, Kayla Latimer, and David Julian. For Post, the head coach in his 7th season is John Plefka. He's assisted by Ashley Phillips.
All right, guys, we appreciate the public address getting us the lineups and getting us underway, and these same lineups we saw yesterday, which were so successful with both of these teams. You know, the graphic was up a little while ago with the scores from yesterday, and it's just fun to kind of relive just looking. You know, a score sometimes can evoke exactly what happened in the game. You got an overtime game, there was a 1-point game and a 3-point game. Just the excitement of yesterday. 4 games, we're talking men's games as well, but these two teams proved that they belong here with those wins yesterday.
Well, and, you know, Coach John Plefka definitely made a point to say, you know, that the Northern Division was somewhat, you know, underappreciated this year by a lot of so-called experts. And here we are, tournament championship Sunday, and the two participants are the number 1 and 2 seeds in the North.
And we haven't seen North versus North in the finals since 2014 when Caldwell and Bloomfield played at Caldwell, and there's our typical seeding of the opening tap. Here's Howard. Levy gets it in the corner to Mills. Back out to Olivia. Around to Suarez, who was so good yesterday. 3-pointer for Howard to start things off. Kayla Howard, the freshman from Naugatuck, Connecticut.
And Dominican comes out in 1-2-2, 3-quarter court pressure. Back into 2-3 zone.
Here's Haynes. Did what needed to get done yesterday. Not a superstar like she normally is, but did all the things that needed to help her team win when they needed it most. That one is off. The junior from New Haven, Tyree Allen, out of bounds, back to the Chargers.
Well, and you see, as we start this game, Dominican's thought process, I would believe, in going to that 3-quarter press is to slow Post down, not allow them to get into rhythm, especially early in the game.
Here's Techlitz up top. Finds Howard, now passed down low, knocked away by Eubanks. Eubanks feeds it ahead to White. White reverse layup won't go. Follow is good, though, by Tina Pagan.
Pagan shows her athleticism, running down the floor, getting in position for that offensive putback.
Some foul trouble yesterday for Pagan, but fought through it and was still very effective, especially on the defensive end for Coach Plefka. Back out to Techlitz.
The Eagles show zone to start, and after a pass, they go and play man-to-man.
Suarez goes baseline. Mills couldn't handle the pass. And a travel is the call. It's a little delayed call, but I think the right call there.
Well, I think the call was right. It was just extremely late, as Shariah Haynes clearly walked, but the official didn't make the call for a good 2 seconds, and that's what clearly has angered Coach Plefka.
Kristen Teclis made the call right away, though, Coach.
Well said. Well said.
Here's Suarez. Suarez gets a crushing pick from Teclis, is able to drop it in.
Kristen Teclis does a good job when she has the ball and when she doesn't have it. As you see, a turnover by Haynes. 2 turnovers in a row by Shariah Haynes.
A little pressure there put on by Dominican, just enough to cause that pass to be a little too high.
And, you know, when you see that kind of three-quarter court pressure, the first thing you do is you slow down. And that's exactly what Coach Diener wants the Eagles to do, slow down.
Levy turned around, gets it to Teclis. Leaves it for Suarez. Lexi has it now, gets it to Mills, who traveled. So sometimes in championship games, players get a little jumpy.
Yeah, and you know, there's a little bit of a feeling out process to start. I don't know if she walked right there. It looked like her left foot stayed down. Nonetheless, a turnover.
It looks like a walk.
Yep.
Yeah, and they give it to you. Here's Haynes. And Allen for 3. Yes, Tyree Allen. Now she starts games, plays a few minutes. Sometimes you don't see her. Maybe she'll get a little more playing time with that 3.
Well, and that was a deep 3, but nice in rhythm, smooth shot. And we see another travel for Dominican.
This one on Howard. And so early on, 3 turnovers on Dominican, 2 on post.
Boy, you see that good inside-out pass by Shariah Haynes. And Allen knocking down a 25-foot 3-ball.
Haynes, little floater in the lane with the left hand. Pretty move by the junior from Springfield, Mass.
And that's where her capabilities are. She can really break a defense down and get in the seams of this zone.
Because you have to respect that 3-point threat that she can shoot from just about anywhere. Teclis, big 3-point threat as well, gets it to Mills. Here's Tanasia, drives baseline for Teclis. Gets it back out. Here's Howard. Jumper from 14 is short. Eubanks the board.
That's a really good rebound by Kiara Eubanks. You see the post defense really contesting every pass that Dominican made, and Pagan picks up the early foul.
So a moving screen there on the junior from New London, and we just said a couple of minutes ago, Coach, keeping Pagan out of foul trouble is going to be a key because she's a really important player. Roxkel Washington, good player as well, but you want to have your really all-league level player there in Pagan.
Yeah, Coach Plefka really had to manage the game yesterday with Pagan off the floor, and you're correct, Washington did a terrific job of stemming the tide during those minutes.
Elbow jumper Levy out of bounds.
Well, Dominican in these last few offensive possessions, a little cold and a little stagnant on the offensive end.
Tiara McQueen, number 2, the grad student out of Roselle Catholic in there. Step through now to McQueen. Little give and go there. No good. Rebound collected by Mills. Mills up the right sideline, tight roping to Lexi. And Olivia Levy will reset. Now inside to Howard, makes a nice move. Blocked by Pagan.
Tell you what, that was almost her second personal foul. Really nice block, though, by Tana Pagan, and she did not get her with the body. That's a great job by the center, the junior center from New London, Connecticut.
Yeah, stayed vertical with the body, and even though the arm came a little forward, it was only blocking the ball. There's Mills in rhythm, misses the little floater in the lane. And here's Haynes the other way. Angelina DeMarsico, the junior, 0 in there for the Chargers. 3-pointer winning that game yesterday. Here's Haynes. Speaking of 3-pointers, there's one put up by McQueen, a prolific 3-point machine. Misses that one. Here's Suarez. And leaves it for Ndukaba. who's also in there, number 44. Three-pointer, right angle, good for Kayla Howard, her second of the game.
Boy, nice job, though, by Tanasia Mills getting that offensive rebound and finding Howard on the right wing for the three.
Here's Eubanks. Another three by McQueen. Back rim, no good. White fights for it, but can't grab it, and it's Howard who comes away with it. Kayla Howard moving quickly. Howard, coast to coast, lays it up, won't go. Offensive rebound, Ndukaba, and she'll get to the free throw line.
And Ndukaba yesterday really gave super minutes off the bench in the post for Dominican. And you see today, just as she gets into the game, touching the basketball in and around the basket, you see her right here going strong to the offensive glass, getting another foul, this one on Sharia Haynes.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. You are watching the CACC Championship game, powered by BTV. And it was the CACC North Championship really on the line. The teams were tied going into that game, and for all intents and purposes, the winner of that game was going to be the #1 seed, and it ends up they get to play again a third time, which is great. But Post came up with that win in the most recent game, and when the teams played earlier in the year, back in December, that was without Taina Pagan, and that was without Sharia Haynes, and Dominican won that game. So now when the teams were kind of both at full strength, it was a tight game, went down the stretch, but I think we're going to see the same thing here today.
Well, and the first 5+ minutes of this first quarter shows how evenly matched these teams are, and I think the mutual respect that they have is clearly there, and I think this is going to be, as you just said, nip and tuck the whole way.
The Dominican, a program that Mike mentioned yesterday, has been in this CACC tournament every year since Bill Diener took over 13 years ago. And John Plefka, in his 6th year, he took over a program that I think they won 2 or 3 games for 3 or 4 years in a row before he took over the program. Really had to kind of build from scratch, and quickly built from scratch. Here they are in the championship game, and another third straight semifinal appearance. Here's Haynes with a 3, rattles in and out. Rebound to Levy. Here's Suarez. Levy. Mills. Levy. And Ndukaba looks to make a move. Little elbow jumper. Rattles in.
What a great offensive possession by Dominican. They must have made like 7 or 8 passes in the span of like 15, 20 seconds. Super ball movement.
Pagan lost it off her foot and then fouls. That's a doubly bad play right there. Bad luck there for Pagan.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Coach Plefka didn't want to see happen. We're not even, through the first quarter, and Taina Pagan has picked up her 2nd foul and has to go to the bench. It'll be very interesting if we see her again for the remainder of this first half. Never mind the remainder of this first quarter.
Here's Mills holding overhead. Suarez. Levy. Levy flings it to Suarez. Now the lob pass into Ndukaba, a little far out, and the offensive foul is charged to Chidinma.
Well, and Sharia Haynes, really super job. Might have flopped a little bit, but established position nicely against Ndukaba to draw that offensive foul.
Sometimes even if you embellish a little, you're still going to get the call, even though the official probably knows you embellished if the impetus for you going down was mostly the push or the charge, in the case of the Chargers. Eubanks. Tijane Simmons, who hit those 4 huge threes in the third quarter yesterday in there for the first time, number 15 for post. Man, was she a difference maker. What a great play on the baseline by Howard to knock it away. Here comes Mills the other way. Howard drives through and around, off glass, won't go. Unlucky break there for Howard. A little frustrated it didn't go in. Nothing really wrong with it, just didn't go in.
I'll tell you what, Kayla Howard has really come out firing on the offensive end. Look at that strong move to the basket. Just went in and out, but there's our girl Ndakaba getting an opportunity to get another offensive rebound for the held ball to flip the arrow. Chinma Ndakaba, strong minutes here in the early stages of the first quarter.
Junior out of Brooklyn, transfer from Queens College out of the East Coast Conference. And a little touch foul there, just enough contact to warrant.
Well, and official Kevin George right in front of him, and yeah, you just see right there Olivia Levy a little bit too much with the hand check.
Here's Haynes. Haynes, a handful for anyone to handle. Levy has that assignment now. Screen and roll. Layup by Washington won't go. Lexi Suarez the board.
Well, good possession by the Eagles, and Roxcale Washington just couldn't finish the layup.
And Ndakaba, nice move. Little floater won't go on the step back, and Haynes comes back the other way. Here's Sharia. Steps through. Off glass, no good. Washington grabs the offensive board. Eubanks leaves it back for Haynes to restart with 15. 1:20 to play first quarter. Dominican keeps its 4-point lead. Pass down to Washington. Spins. Can't get it to fall. Levy the board.
Good job by Olivia Levy, dropping down from her top spot in the zone to get rebounds for the Chargers.
Here's Levy to DeMarsico. That's the pass out to Lena. Here's Suarez. 5 to shoot. Knocked around and taken away eventually by Eubanks.
Jayla White, good double down from the weak side to strip Ndakaba.
Haynes is fouled, and she got around Ndakaba just enough, and she didn't just a little out of position there. It's hard to be in position when you got Sharia Haynes driving around toward the goal.
Sharia Haynes does a great job of knifing her way through traffic. She has stepped through double teams on 3 separate occasions today, and you saw in that offensive move her ability to just ease by defenders to be able to get shots going to the basket.
Haynes an 80+% free throw shooter on the season. Haynes an 80+% free throw shooter on the season.
Is it always the kiss of death or what? And it's not just you. You shouldn't, feel bad.
I do, though. Second free throw is good as she makes the score 11-8 now in favor of the Chargers. I don't want Sharia Haynes to miss any free throws.
Of course not.
No. Here's Olivia Levy.
Neither does John Plefka, though.
Probably more than me.
Probably.
3-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. We saw this come into play at the end of the game yesterday. We thought, they'll just, hold for one shot, and ended up being a 30-second violation, and there was another shot. Here's Levy. Down to 5. Levy gets a screen from Teklitz. DeMarsico. Teklitz for 3. Doesn't go. Offensive rebound and a travel before as Suarez, little skip step.
Yep, Alexis Suarez probably could have put it on the floor to really get herself even closer to the basket and to settle herself. And you see that little hop step for the walk as the first quarter comes to a close.
Absolute least amount of time that was available left was 0-0-0.1. We go down to our guy, Andrew Byrne, on the floor. Andrew, welcome in.
Guys, great job in that first quarter. You know, you talk about the championship game. Might there be a little tightness from both clubs? Well, I was hanging around the Dominican huddle. How about head coach Bill Diener before the game dancing in the huddle, trying to fire up the Chargers? They're off to a good start with a 3-point lead for Post. Head coach John Plefka imploring his club to get on the glass and rebound. It's Dominican that has the upper hand right now on the window. That's not something that happened in the first couple of meetings between these two teams, something to keep an eye on as this game unfolds. Jerry and JR back upstairs.
A. Byrne, thank you. We're dancing up here too. You didn't mention that at all. We're excited about the finals.
So
I don't know, after
happy to
yesterday,
be
I don't
here.
know what we could do to be more excited after a game. Those 4 games yesterday, coming into today, looking over notes, thinking about how great this matchup is, how excited we are about the second game today, with a couple of one school hasn't been in it in a long time, and the home team, so you're going to have the excitement of that. I mean, we've hosted a few times at Caldwell where it's been the 2 South teams playing, and this time it's reverse of that with the 2 North teams. But there's some folks that came down. A lot of folks from Dominican came down, met some of the parents before the game, and people are excited. A lot of Post fans here as well, so it's pretty well attended.
It's a great weekend of basketball in the CACC, and you have to come out and support your team if they get all the way to the final.
Or you can watch it on the CACC network. Here's Lena DeMarsico for 3, in and out. Rebound collected by Washington.
Well, one of the things we didn't talk about that we have to be mindful of, how long does Coach Plefka wait before bringing back Tana Pagan here in the second quarter, if at all?
The score will dictate that to some degree, and how well Washington plays. If she plays like she plays yesterday, she can leave her in there for a while. There's another scramble here under the basket, and it's going to stay with Post on the alternate possession.
Well, and there again you see Olivia Levy sliding down to the block and really doing a good job today of getting defensive rebounds from her guard position.
Here's the inbound, gets it to Simmons, whose 3 won't go. Washington, the offensive rebound, putback won't go either. Lid on the basket there for the Eagles on those 2 tries. Here's Mills.
A really good decision by Tanasia Mills. Did not have numbers, was a 1-on-3 break. Smartly pulls it out so that they can run their offense.
Techlitz back around to Levy. Here's Mills. Extra pass to Lena. DeMarsico for 3. Front side rim, no good. Rebound is collected there by McQueen. Of course, DeMarsico with the big 3-pointer to win the game yesterday. And that thrilling win over Jefferson. Here's a little floater in the lane, won't go for Allen. Follow-up, though, by Haynes, no good. And it's Howard who clears it. Here's Mills. Mills with an opening. Mills, left hand, first bucket of the game for the redshirt sophomore from New City, New York, Albertus Magnus.
How about that? And great move. And as she went to the basket, she switched hands and put it up with her left hand to finish.
Here's Haynes, left hand, beautiful.
Now, silky smooth Sharia Haynes getting into the lane to finish.
13-10. Dominican is 3-point lead. Here's Techlitz leaving it for Mills, who steps back for 3. Yes!
Well, and Coach Plefka really getting on Tiara McQueen for not getting through that screen at the top and allowing Mills that wide open look for 3.
First team all-conference performer is Tanasia Mills, one of 3 Rockland-based players on this Rockland-based Dominican team. Spin around by Washington, comes back around to Haynes. Levy closes on her, and now the 3-pointer right angle, no good by Allen. Offensive rebound, though, by Washington, and now Simmons for 3. Won't go. Scramble for it. DeMarsico comes away with it.
Now, good job by the Chargers staying with the defensive glass to finish the possession.
Mills drives, left hand. Thought she was fouled. No call.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it was a good call. There was some contact, but I think she was trying to really sell that foul call.
Here's Allen. Howard on her. Allen drives. Left hand. Pretty off glass. Timeout. Post.
Well, and here we go. 6:33 remaining in the second quarter, and Tana Pagan is coming into the game.
Here's that play again right here. A nice drive, and then cradles the ball and then is able to avoid the defender with the left hand and keep her body in between the defender and the ball. And good enough control to lay that in. And Coach Plefka, sometimes off a basket, you want to call timeout, give yourself a chance to set up your defense here. And even though you feel like a momentum killer in some ways because you just scored a basket, you do want to kind of use that as a defensive mechanism.
And it's interesting because in the women's game, you know, especially with media timeouts, you don't see a lot of timeouts during the run of play unless there's a big run one way or the other, and that obviously wasn't the case here. So it begs the question, are they going to do something different out of this timeout, or is it just literally to emphasize what they need to do better? They see something that they're not doing on either end of the floor, most likely on the defensive end, trying to accentuate that. I might, if I were Coach Plefka, and they really don't do this a lot, but I might look to extend the defense a little bit and force Dominican to handle the basketball against some pressure. Dominican offensively is in a nice rhythm. Even though they're not scoring the basketball as much as maybe Coach Diener would want, they're very, very comfortable in their offensive sets. Maybe it's time for Post to do something to get them out of their rhythm. And out of the timeout, they are just going back in the half court defensively.
Post with 230 three-pointers on the season. Made only one today. Dominican, also likes to use the three. They've made almost 200 during the season. And they have three, and they lead by 4 points. Here is Suarez. Tecklitz. Levy back out to Suarez. Extra pass to Lena. Three-pointer from the corner is good for Angelina DeMarsico. The North Rockland product hits the big three here to make it 19-12.
The Chargers are really making the extra pass so effectively well, and you saw it again in that set. Extra pass around, find the open player.
Answer by Haynes, yes! Sharia Haynes, the junior, buries her three to answer, and it's 19-15.
Well, maybe we'll start to see, some free-flowing offense. Both teams getting a little more comfortable in there.
Suarez, a chance for a three-point play.
Well, just like that, Tana Pagan picks up number 3.
So there's the basket, and also, as you mentioned, that third foul, and we waited. Coach Plefka made the move, and now we're going to see Roxkel Washington for sure the rest of this half, and then I'll be interested to see coming out in the second half if they go back with the starters. Offensive rebound by Levy. Here's Mills. Levy drives. Tecklitz. Mills for three. Buries it.
Extra pass again. The Chargers ball movement so smooth in this first half.
Kristen Tecklitz with the good look. The UMBC transfer makes it a 24-15 game. Biggest lead, matching the biggest lead. White. Back to Haynes. White. Eubanks, 5 to shoot. Eubanks for 3. Back rim, White the offensive board. Eubanks again. Haynes, extra pass. White drives, left hand, off glass, no good. Eubanks, follow, no. Tecklitz the rebound, and a foul.
And I think that's going to be on Washington, but the Eagles, that was one of their best offensive sets. Good ball movement, swinging the ball side to side, offensive rebounds, just not able to get it to go down.
Second team foul against the Eagles here in the second quarter. None against Dominican yet. Dominican's only committed 3 fouls in total. And Suarez makes it a 11-point lead for the Chargers, their biggest of the game.
And they are shooting the ball so effectively well. Dominican now back into, I think they're now playing 1-2-2 zone.
Haynes, the long three to try to bust that zone. Yes, second three-pointer of the game for Sharia. She has 11.
And Suarez a little out of control with that turnover.
Another three in rhythm. Another one by Haynes.
Wow, Sharia Haynes. I believe that's her fourth three of the game. Back-to-back threes to immediately get that lead back under 10.
26-21. 14 points for the junior. Tecklitz. Nice pass to Levy, or to Haynes, extra pass. Tecklitz. Suarez. Little baby hook won't go. Simmons the rebound. Here's Haynes. Haynes doing it all.
Wow, great players make great plays, and Sharia Haynes has single-handedly gotten her team back in this game.
13 of her 16 coming here in the second period, and it's a three-point game all of a sudden. Here's Suarez. DeMarsico. Back to Lexi Suarez. Suarez, little floater in the paint.
And that was a big basket for Dominican. Post was, scoring, might have had the last 8 points to cut that lead down to 3.
Here's Haynes. Haynes gets a couple of screens. Back up top, straight up Eubanks. Now the extra pass to Allen for 3. Rattles out. Tecklitz a nice rebound. Suarez ahead to Levy. Levy one-on-one, blocked away, but a foul.
Wow, tough call against Tyree Allen. But Olivia Levy does a nice job here. Watch her set this up. Slow down, explode. Allen, I don't know, might have gotten her
Maybe
with body.
Yeah,
Yeah, but she did a nice job rejecting that shot.
Redshirt sophomore out of North Rockland High School.
Hey!
Olivia Levy, Stony Point, New York.
North Rockland, there we go.
Had a nice contingent apparently watching the game from back home yesterday. We shout out to them as well.
I don't know, with all the shout outs we gave to North Rockland, I think I'd like a sweatshirt. Can we figure that out?
Talk to Joe Casarella.
There we go.
Athletic director for 30 plus years at the Fields, New York based school. One more coming for Levy. (29-23) is the 6-point Chargers lead. Here's Haynes. Haynes, long three off to the right. I mean, we know she can hit that. Just didn't get it there. Here is Mills. Mills drives, floaters. Pretty, wouldn't go though. Fight for the rebound, and it's Eubanks who comes out of there with it.
That was a really nice move by Tanasia Mills, just didn't go down.
Allen scooting in, just couldn't finish. Another great move, this time by Allen.
Good block out by Kayla Howard, not allowing Roxelle Washington to get that rebound.
Here's Howard. Suarez. Extra pass down low to Levy. Nice look, unselfish.
Unselfish is the spot-on word. Great pass. Alexis Suarez could have taken that little shot in the lane. Instead, great pass inside for the easy bucket.
Here's Haynes as we get down to 110 in the first half. Haynes. Pass stolen away by Lexi and then stolen back, but a foul.
Jerry, Dominican has not committed a foul this quarter. Only 4 fouls in this whole second quarter, all by post. And the biggest one, with 6:33 remaining in this second quarter, was Tana Pagan's 3rd foul.
Here's DeMarsico. Leaves it for Suarez. Howard drives, blocked away by Haynes, who another smart play, establishing inbounds before she picked the ball up to keep possession for her team. Here's McQueen. Simmons for three.
Wow, what a big turn of events. Could have been a foul on the offensive end for Dominican, no call, and Tijane Simmons knocks a big three down.
She had those 4 trifectas in the third quarter yesterday to help that win for the Eagles. Gets her first of the game here, fifth of the game for the Eagles overall. Nittinger in there for the first time, 22, just got a touch. And nice feed to Howard and made a nice move.
Great finish to the quarter for Dominican. Great extra pass for the layup to Kayla Howard. Dominican up 7.
All right, and our own Andrew Byrne is with head coach Bill Diener.
In the pregame huddle, trying to keep your club loose. You'll take a 7-point lead into the locker room. How important was it for this bunch to play free and easy in the title game?
Oh, it's just huge. This game is based on a lot of emotion, and listen, they got a lot of firepower. Haynes is just a real good basketball player, and you know they're going to make their shots. It's just about us being emotionally stable, working the ball just like we did on that last possession. We're going to talk about that in the locker room, of the patience that we had and how we got the shot off. We're going to have to do a better job on the defensive glass. We know we're getting small, but we just got to do a blocking out and get on that defensive glass.
Was it a point of emphasis for you to try to attack when you're into foul trouble?
Well, they were in the zone, so it was more or less get the ball into the middle, and it's either going to be a 16-foot jump shot fake and get to the glass. So, and in turn, as far as the shot fake and get to the glass, some of the post players who are in, but it's working pretty well right now.
Appreciate the time, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
We'll send it to Mike and Tim, who are sitting in our studio.
Thank you very much, Andrew, with Coach Diener. Tim Jimenez, Mike Andrews, and with you. 33-26, Dominican with the lead. Mike, your takeaway, media thoughts?
JR said a lot of interesting things. Talked about the patience that Dominican had, making the extra pass. You knew that was going to come out. They took their time. They moved the ball around. They get off good shots. Diener said it again on the meeting. Plefka, Pagan getting in early foul trouble kind of hurts. Dominican not fouling in that quarter was something that the guys picked up on. Haynes, we knew the big players were going to come to play. Haynes made a 3, made another 3, and then made a deuce to get it to 23-26. And then Dominican came back and made a big 3 on their side. So big players are going to make big shots in this round.
And we saw that in the first half. When we look at the numbers here a little bit here, Dominican shooting really well, 48% from the field, including from beyond the arc. Just tremendous numbers from outside, and that made a big difference here, Mike.
It totally did. When you start making shots, everybody's confidence goes up. Right. You're making quality attempts too. You're not just jacking up threes. There's quality attempts. You're getting a good look. You're getting a pass. You're getting a little pick and roll. You're getting a good look, and that brings everybody's energy level up because you make shots and you want the ball on the next trip down the floor because you're going to make a shot.
Yep, 5 of 8 from beyond the arc for Dominican, only 2 of 5 from the free throw line. Not many free throws in that first half for either team. You mentioned no fouls from the one side, so a combination of 7 free throws in that entire first half. 2 of 5 for Dominican, 1 of 2 for post. And individually here for Dominican, it's Tanasha Mills leading the way with 8 points. She made both of her 3-point shots. Kayla Howard also made both of her threes, also with 8 points. Alexis Suarez also with 8 points. So 3 top scorers there, all with 8. Suarez was 4 of 5 from the field. Tremendous output from her. Also 4 assists to set up her teammates. So Suarez, another difference maker out there.
She is. She really is, and she's feeling it. When you start making shots this time of year, man, you think you're a Superman.
Yeah. And then our star from yesterday in Angelina DiMarcico, 3 points. I guess a relatively quiet performance for her. 1 of 3 from beyond the arc, but of course, you never know when she's going to just start hitting these shots.
Simmons from post just made the big 3 right here in front of us.
Yeah.
She made all the threes yesterday. That was her first points of the game. I expect a little bit more out of her, too, in the second half.
Yeah, and so tremendous performance again from both teams. And we got to go to Haynes. And it isn't just the offense. Obviously, that stretch, they were down 11. She had those 8 straight points. If we look at her defensive numbers as well here, I mean, 4 steals.
4 steals.
I mean, that's like you mentioned, big-time players making big plays.
Big-time players.
It's not just offense, it's defense.
No. She moves around the court. If you watch her, if you got a chance to see her in person, just the way she moves around the court, she's an unbelievable athlete. She doesn't take a lot of extra steps. She knows where she needs to get to, and she gets to it. And she gets to the spot. It's fun to watch athletes at this level perform, because this is, at a championship level, it's what you'd expect.
Got to bring your A game today. And also scoring here for Post, 5 points from Tyree Allen, 1 of 3 from beyond the arc. Simmons, who we talked about, hit a 3, and Taina Pagan hit 2 points as well. But for a while, it was only 3 Post players who scored. It was only Haynes, Allen, and Simmons. So I guess if there's one thing a Post certainly wants to do is get more people involved, get other players making some shots here, Mike.
It's where Dominicans got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players on the score sheet. I think that's where you want the balance to be, because Haynes might start to feel more and more of that pressure moving forward, that, okay, I got to keep this close. I got to get my shots in. I got to keep this close. I'm the only one making shots. But you got to trust your teammates and give them the opportunity to make those shots and come away with the W.
And maybe for all the attention in the defensive end, maybe a little too much will go to her in the second half, and then finding an open teammate to hit some of these open shots as well. Kira Eubanks, a star of yesterday, did not score.
No. 0 for 3 from the field, 0 for 1 behind the arc. Got 4 rebounds, though. That's huge. Plefka was impairing them to rebound, get on the glass. Because Dominican looks like they've run their half-court game a little bit more efficiently than Post. Post's making some big outside shots, but JR said it, the extra passing, the patience, the easy looks, it goes a long way. It really does.
One key also in that first half, turnovers and the points off the turnovers here. So 9 Dominican turnovers, Mike, leading to Post, getting some points off of those miscues there.
That always helps. When you get the easy baskets in transition, you get a steal, it goes off somebody's hip, somebody's knee. It's always nice to get the easy baskets where you're not expending a lot of energy. But you just got to make sure you convert.
Yeah. So those 9 turnovers for Dominican, 5 steals for Post, and Post able to turn those 9 turnovers into 14 points. They're plus 12 in that category. So that is a plus for Post. If you're Dominican, you want to take much better care of the basketball. So you never know in the second half, it could come to bite you.
Dominican, 14 points in the paint in the first half to just 8 for Post. That was kind of an interesting stat to see.
Yeah, plus 6 there. Not too many runouts here. Fast break points.
No.
Post 5 and only a single fast break point for Dominican. I guess you can count that as a free throw as a fast break point. It's interesting.
Tough half-court defense.
Yep.
This time of year. You're going to see everybody's point totals go down a little bit, as we saw over the weekend. I came in with this great stat sheet. Oh, this team scores so much. This team scores so much.
Right.
You toss it out the window.
And it's because, and Andrew brought this up to Coach Diener, and maybe even JR brought this up, but just the intensity picks up, right? So things tighten up for all the teams we've seen, and particularly when you get to the championship level.
You gotta be patient. Diener said it. Get your shots off. We got to be patient. It's going to get frantic. If it starts to unravel, it's, who's the adult on the court that says, I got this, looks at her teammates, I got this, we can do this, let's settle down. I see Andrew down there pacing, waiting for Coach Plefka to come back on the court.
Yeah, interesting to see what Coach Plefka will say. Yesterday he gave a bit of a tidbit, some kind of secret shooting thing going on here on one end of the floor. No idea what he's talking about, but that would be interesting to find out eventually. But, so it would be interesting to see, of course, Sharia Haynes, will she even step up her offense even more? She's done so much great work. Bouncing back from a performance yesterday, where Haynes did not shoot particularly well. So 1 of 8 from beyond the arc yesterday, Haynes was 3 of 6 today. So she's really stepped it up. And she's certainly going to need maybe some of her teammates to step up as well. find some open shots for them. Again, only 4 players for post scoring, while Dominican having a few more players here. And we're going to go down to Andrew Byrne, who is with Coach Plefka. Andrew?
Coach, Pagan picked up that 3rd foul of the second quarter, had to spend a large stretch on the bench. How do you look to manage that in the second half?
Hey, it is what it is. I think, we have players that can step up. Roxy stepped up pretty well. We just have to protect against the three-point shot. I think that's really what's killing us right now. That's kind of been our biggest strength this whole year, is stopping the threes. And, they were hot, and it is what it is. So we made our adjustment, ready to go this second half. And once again, I'm thankful that we're not on that back hoop.
You've been strong on the glass all season. The margin is just +1 for you. It was double digits in the first regular season meetings with them. How do you look to dominate on the glass in this second half?
Right. I just think it's taking a deep breath. That's the really biggest thing. Many of our players haven't been in a situation they have a couple years ago. So it's trusting in what we do. Really putting out our effort and doing what we can do to get the job done. So another half, we still have life. So don't count us out yet.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you guys upstairs.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew and Coach Plefka. He once again brought up the shooting on one end of the floor.
Don't count us out yet.
And
who's counting them out?
I would
oh
not.
My gosh.
You can't count them out. Why would anyone count them out? And that's interesting. He said, take a deep breath, trust in what they do. And we, talking to Coach Diener beforehand as well, when you're kind of managing emotions, Mike, where a lot of it is X and O's, yes, but it goes beyond that.
But these are 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds out there that are at a fever pitch, maybe in the biggest event of their sporting life. If you think about it, to date, it could be, and everybody wants to perform. Everybody wants to put their best forward when the biggest light is shining. We'll have to see who does.
We will. Interesting to see what kind of adjustments were made in the locker room here. How will each team respond? And Coach Plefka mentioned, protecting against that three-point shot, and he says they've done it well all year long.
Yes.
But today, in particular, Dominican shooting really well from beyond the arc.
Trust what we do. I thought that was a very telling statement by Coach Plefka. Just trust what we do. They've gone over the rotations, the defensive rotations that they're going to need to put into place. Now it's just up to those athletes to perform. There's no secret sauce.
Yeah, right, exactly. And we'll see if we have a crazy finish like yesterday. I mean, who knows? Something in the building where these wild finishes happen, I guess.
Both teams are back on the court.
And we're going to head
over.
over.
Layup drills.
Yeah. And we're going to head over to our broadcast partners at the desk, Jerry Milani, and the CACC analyst, Ben J. Ardenelli.
Speaking of secret sauce, you guys need to check out the spread in the hospitality area. There's a little secret sauce in there you can maybe check out between games. But we've got we got 20 minutes of, if we can get the kind of end-to-end action that we had in the first half with maybe a little more free play, I think we're going to have a real humdinger of a second half.
Well, and I think that there needs to be more involvement by other players than just Sharia Haynes for post. And, John Plefka makes the comment, trust what we do. And I think that's designed to try, in maybe a subliminal way to say hey, guys, it can't just be Sharia left, Sharia right. We got to get other players involved. And yesterday, that was the secret for their success. She's going to score her points. And let's face it, if she doesn't have the half that she does, Dominican's got a really big lead at this point. Tanya Pagan picking up 3 fouls, that hurts. 2 days in a row, her services not being able to play the minutes that he would want, that really hurts this team. But trusting the process, using that point, they got to really lock down defensively. Dominican is in such good rhythm on the offensive end, making extra passes, finding open players, and getting high percentage shots. There's got to be something, I think, that Post does a little bit differently to try to change the tempo of this game, because Dominican is just too comfortable.
And when we saw that yesterday in the third quarter, where Simmons, who had been kind of quiet, jumped up, hit those 4 3-pointers, kind of jump-started everything. And Washington, like you said, yesterday, she may not have scored a lot, but she did all the little things you needed to do defensively, getting rebounds, to be able to spell Pagan long enough so that when Tana came back in, she could be more effective.
Yeah, and, Roxelle Washington is is given good minutes again today, really hitting the offensive glass effectively, even though she hasn't scored the basketball, but she's really been effective, with 6 rebounds. She's been a part of their offensive, performance. They just have to get out of the gates in the third quarter, Jerry. I think that, getting to the first media timeout, kind of like what we talked about yesterday with Jefferson in the game with Dominican. At that first media timeout in the third quarter, or the media timeout in the third quarter, they've got to cut into the lead and change the tempo. Post has to do the same thing.
As we wind down the final minute here, we want to remind everyone to stick around. After this one, we'll have the ceremony for you, the cutting down of the nets, the ceremonial cutting down of the nets. Hopefully someone at Jefferson remembered to buy a couple extra nets to put up, because we'll need those for the second game.
Well, I mean, you got these side baskets here. If that didn't happen, we could always cut them down.
Got everything else covered here. It would be something, wouldn't it? We'd go viral.
Could you imagine?
We'd go viral. Got to play the second game without a net, guys. We don't have one. That would, here that would be that would never happen. But there are certain places that I might, worry that might happen. But in any case, second game of our doubleheader will follow around 2:30, maybe a little bit later. Is the men's championship between the host Jefferson, a #1 seed in the South, and the #1 seed overall, #1 seed in the North, Caldwell. That's coming up here. Second game here. Andrew Byrne will be on the call along with you, JR, and I'm looking forward to that one too. But I'm looking forward to 20 minutes, maybe even more, if anything, yesterday is anything like it, of basketball here in the women's championship. Here's Suarez feeding Howard, looking to get in deep, right on Pagan right away.
Well, and it's interesting that Coach Plefka starts Pagan to begin the third quarter, and Kayla Howard goes right at her with a good finish, and you see again 1-2-2 3-quarter court pressure from Dominican.
Allen, layup in, starts the second half like she started the first with a quick bucket.
And no effect at all on that possession for Post. Went right at Dominican and scored an easy layup.
Shot from the free throw line, no good. Haynes the board. Here's Sharia. Fights it through. White, extra pass to Allen. Drives in, high off glass and in. Tyree has 4 quickies. She's got 9.
Successive possessions for Tyree Allen with layups, and that one, as you mentioned, high off the window, kissing it home.
Wanted to get someone else involved as a post side. Well, Tyree Allen has the first 4, and it's a 5-point game. Pecklitz leaves it for Lexi Suarez. Mills, Howard, Tecklitz. Nice pass. Extra to Levy for 3. In and out, Pagan the board.
Well, they did everything right, but the shot just didn't go down.
Allen feeling it. Scramble. Levy collects. Now Suarez. Tipped away from her. It'll stay with.
Well, I mean, you could certainly see that Tyree Allen came out of the locker room and she's saying, I've got to do more for my team. Has made 2 buckets and had a great look at a 3. This young lady's really wanting to do more for her team here at the start of the third quarter.
Suarez. Howard wasn't ready, but recovered. Suarez, a little crossover. Tecklitz. Eubanks right on her. Tecklitz has not been able to kind of get on track, and this time tries to drive and has it swatted away by Kiara.
Kiara Eubanks said, get that out of my house, as she just forcibly takes it out of Kristen Tecklitz's hands.
Eubanks' house is in CACC, Maryland, on the banks of the Potomac, just opposite D.C. It'll be fought for, and they'll say it's off Simmons.
Yeah, but we're going to get a shot clock violation against Dominican.
5-point Chargers lead. It was 7 at the break. Eubanks scoots in, well defended by Levy. It'll stay with the Eagles.
Well, nice job by the Dominican defense, and you see Olivia Levy close right at the end to make that Eubanks shot difficult.
Stolen away by Mills. Mills one-on-one with Simmons. Mills decides to take it out. But gets Levy cutting to the goal. Won't go. Eubanks the board.
Great pass by Tanasia Mills, hitting Olivia Levy in stride. Just couldn't finish the layup.
Haynes. Left hand, no good. Simmons can't grab it. Suarez does, gets it ahead to Howard, off glass, left hand.
Boy, that's a great play by Kayla Howard, running down that head of the field pass to catch up to it, but then the body control to finish the layup.
37-30 is the 7-point Chargers lead. Here's Pagan working on Teklitz. Pagan, fade away, off glass, won't go. Teklitz the board.
Super defense by Kristen Teklitz really made Tana Pagan uncomfortable on that shot attempt.
Teklitz turnaround. Pagan the board, and she's fouled by Kristen.
Yeah, Teklitz tried to defend the rebounder and just made too much contact.
Teklitz 8.5 points a game, hasn't scored yet today, maybe pressing a little bit right here.
A little bit. You know, and you saw maybe she rushed that jump shot, and after she missed that, she felt compelled to try to go get that rebound and went a little too over the top, if you will, to try to get it.
Grad student at a New Fairfield, Connecticut. One of 2 Connecticut natives on the Chargers. Just the home state of Post University. Here's Allen. Her pass is stolen away by Levy. Olivia ahead to Mills. Mills, little hesitation, little fake. Pagan the rebound, and a push foul is going to go against Olivia.
Well, Tanasia Mills just kind of caught herself in a situation where she couldn't finish that. Well, I really like the way Olivia Levy is playing today for Dominican. She's doing all the little things well. She may not be scoring, but man, she's playing great defense, rebounding the basketball, and watch her here. Just try to make a play and get a little overzealous and foul Sharia Haynes.
Second team foul against the Chargers here, none against Post, reversing what we saw in the second quarter. Here's Haynes. For Allen. McQueen drives. McQueen tried to feed and stolen away by Ndukaba.
Ndukaba got her hands out, really contested that pass, resulting in a turnover.
Suarez for Ndukaba. Ndukaba, nice move. Layup won't fall, though. Simmons seals for the rebound.
Well, and she did a good job of getting that mismatch on Tijane Simmons. She just did not finish the bucket.
High off glass, won't go. Pagan, the offensive rebound, pulls it out. Suarez sneaks in but fouls. Doesn't like it.
Oh, and then a technical foul on Alexis Suarez.
Now, she gave a lot of times you'll see players kind of like question calls and stuff, and usually it just kind of it washes, and I noticed that a little bit more on that one, and maybe that kind of is the feeling that it was a little bit more of an objection than is normal.
Well, and you know, Dominican didn't commit a foul that entire second quarter, and you know, these first 5 minutes of the third quarter, they've committed 3 fouls. A lot of them were really close, and Alexis just didn't handle that call going against her. But you know what? She got in the huddle with her teammates, and I think she's okay. I think she understands she got a little, you know, little hot, but she's a leader on this team, and her teammates understand that she's just playing extremely hard.
Haynes hits 1 of 2, and then keeping play in action as it would have been with the first foul. The Eagles will have possession here with a fresh 30. Right about now at the midway point of the third quarter. McQueen. Haynes drives. Haynes, little ward off with the left hand. Won't finish though. And Ndukaba the rebound.
That's a great call by you. She really extended her hand to create space. Lucky she didn't get a foul called against her there.
Suarez drives on through under the basket, but a foul. And she takes it to the hoop.
Now Alexis Suarez really trying to almost make amends for that technical foul call. She put her head down and really went to the glass with a lot of fervor. And she gets the foul called on Tiara McQueen.
First foul on McQueen. We'll take a timeout. You're watching the Chargers and the Eagles CACC Championships on the CACC Network, powered by BTV.
At Dominican College, we are connected every day.
The best of both worlds, being here at Dominican.
You really feel like you can kind of relax. It's quiet, but you're 20 minutes, 25 minutes from downtown Manhattan.
They always have trips to go see a concert, football game, or a soccer game.
A group went to see the musical The Color Purple, and they knew I was teaching it in my course.
We are connected to the tri-state area, and so our students will do internships in this area, in New York City, in Connecticut.
Countless amount of opportunities through the Career Services Leadership Development.
Going to Career Day, the career fair.
Our adjuncts have established careers within the field, and they ultimately want to see these students succeed.
Back live here at the Gallagher Center, Herb McGee Court. Post and Dominican going at it here in the championship game. East Falls campus of Thomas Jefferson University. Longtime fans will remember it as Philadelphia University, and longer-time fans will remember it as Philadelphia Textile. And the merger a couple years ago with Thomas Jefferson creating this university, but they've maintained the Philadelphia University brand to some degree. You'll see it around campus and in the rooms here. Long tradition, of course, Herb McGee, many years here. And same with Tom Shirley, women's basketball coach. Great hosts here all weekend long. Second shot missed, and Haynes collects the board. Here's Sharia. 7-point deficit, just like it was at halftime. Simmons. Here's Eubanks. Eubanks spinning. Extra step.
Now, good defense by Dominican as she got into the lane. Just a sea of black shirts converge on the basketball. And you'll see Eubanks there trying to make one more move, and Ndakaba slid over and really almost caused that traveling violation herself.
Howard leaves it for Mills. Now to Suarez, little jumper. Back rim, no good. Haynes another rebound. Here's Sharia. Simmons drives baseline. Simmons around to Haynes. Haynes 10 to shoot, or 15 to shoot. Haynes, left-hand floater won't go. Gets the offensive board. Putback won't go. Offensive by Eubanks, and she'll get to the line. So extra effort there by Kiara Eubanks, and she'll get rewarded with a pair of free throws.
Great job by the Eagles, just not being denied in this offensive possession. Offensive rebound. Finally, Kiara Eubanks gets fouled and will go to the line to shoot two.
Howard her first, and Eubanks looking for her first point of the game. New Hope Academy graduate, transfer from Wilmington College and Wilmington University in the CACC. Moved over after last year.
Well, Jerry, we're at the 6.5-minute mark here, gone by in the third quarter, and Post has just cut into this lead, by 2, still down 5. Got to look to make a little more of an effort to change the tempo. Dominican's still looking very comfortable on the offensive end.
Points at a premium with a 38-33 score, and I tell you what, when you've got 3 fouls and you still hang in there to draw the charge, got to give a lot of credit to Pagan right there.
Well, and Pagan did a super job. She might have been moving, but Ndakaba lowers her shoulder a little bit, and I think that's why she gets the foul called.
So third on the junior from Brooklyn, but she'll stay in there as an important front court presence for Coach Diener. Eubanks just figuring things out. White, Haynes. And Simmons another three, buries it. Simmons loves that spot. We saw it yesterday, Coach.
Well, and she had a huge day yesterday shooting from the perimeter. Just like that, post only trails by 2. Big shot by T.J. Simmons.
Here's Mills. Mills wide open after the ankle breaker.
That's a big answer for Dominican by Tanasia Mills.
Third three-pointer of the game for the redshirt sophomore out of New City, New York. Too strong on that three-point attempt by Haynes. DeMarsico in there, 0, gets the rebound. Nittinger in there, 22 also. Saw her briefly. Another quick fire three, won't go. Grabbing the offensive rebound, the foul's gonna stay here, is Olivia Levy.
Well, you know, the play before, Tanasia Mills, watch her just do a great job. Stop on a dime as Jayla White goes beyond, and she just drains the straight-on three.
Simmons, her first foul on that last one, was a pass into Ndukaba. Ndukaba, a little hand check, and it's the 4th on Pagan.
Wow, what a tough call there to pick up her 4th personal foul. Well, she did, you know, she puts both hands on Ndukaba, and it was almost like she puts her hands on her to, like, brace herself. Not even to push Ndukaba off a spot. Tough call against Tana Pagan.
Oh, Ndukaba with a little reverse. Little deception from the junior from Brooklyn.
Wow, just a cute little fake by Ndukaba. Watch as she shows the basketball here, and I'm gonna go to the basket, making the layup.
Chance for a three-point play for Ndukaba. Great move by her. Washington picks up her 2nd. And the Chargers have bounced back up to 7-point lead.
And it's a 5-0 run. Post had cut it to 2. You see Dominican extend the lead back to 7 once again.
Haynes scoots. No good. Ndukaba, another rebound. Here's Mills. Suarez gets a screen. Suarez, little screen and roll with Ndukaba.
Man, is that wonderful old school basketball. Pick and roll to its finest, and Ndukaba with the finish.
9-point lead for the Chargers. 1:22 to play in the 3rd. Eubanks. Jump stop, can't finish. Here's Mills. Suarez for Mills. Thought about it. Mills. Suarez. Nittinger, short. Haynes the rebound.
Now, El Nittinger, who can really shoot the ball from the perimeter, just missing on that 3.
Nice feed to Roxelle Washington. Timeout, Eagles.
And again, interesting timeout, Jerry, and here's why. You know, it's towards the end of the 3rd quarter, you just scored. Think about it, down the stretch, you know, if you want to advance the basketball, Coach Plefka burned 2 timeouts today in the run of play after his team makes a basket. You know, we're going to think about that and may have to look at that if we're late in the game in the 4th quarter and Post needs timeouts to advance the basketball if they don't have any.
My counter to that is if we get to a point late in the game where it's close enough that timeout might matter, if he doesn't take that timeout now, maybe the game gets out of control. He feels like he needs to talk to his team right now. He knows his team as well as, you know, better than anybody. I need this timeout now to make this 7-point lead not become 12. and then it doesn't matter how many timeouts. You can't take any of them home with you.
And you're right. I mean, if he really felt that he needed to call, especially this one, with 40 seconds left in the third quarter, if he really felt the need to call this one, you're right. I disagree. I mean, as a coach, under a minute left in this quarter, I'm not burning a timeout I may so desperately need in the last minute of the game.
And to your point, you get one fewer timeout in these media games than you get during the regular season. CACC regular season play never plays with the media timeouts. They have that extra timeout. You get one fewer to be able to call because there's an extra one, there's an extra few timeouts. There's one timeout in each quarter, the media timeout. So judicious use of it, we'll see. And with less than a minute to play here, the Chargers will have possession, trailing or leading by 7. Here's Suarez. And Ducaba. Turnaround. Washington the rebound.
Good defense by Roxdale Washington. Contested that shot and then got the rebound. And Post can get this to 4 or 5 at the end of the third quarter.
Haynes holding. Shot clock off. Down to 5. Haynes gets a screen. Pass is stolen away. 1 second. And so the Chargers defense anticipating that extra pass and able to block it away.
Now, great job by Angelina DeMarsico as she kind of jumped to the ball and forced that ill-advised pass that Kayla Howard will steal. Watch DeMarsico right there. And you see that tough pass that Simmons makes. DeMarsico really caused that steal.
We go now down to the floor, our own Andrew Byrne.
Thanks so much, Jerry. Spent some time near the post huddle at that last timeout. Coach John Plefka, very animated, telling his team, stop overthinking, pay attention to the little things, and just play simple. For Dominican, after that technical foul, Alexis Suarez came to the bench. The Chargers, at least the players, weren't thrilled with the call. Immediately, head coach Bill Diener said, stop. Control what you can control, and then immediately started about protecting the glass. Dominican, a quarter away from their second championship since the spring of 2021. Back upstairs, guys.
Thank you, A. Byrne, doing it for us down on the floor. He'll be on the call for the second game today with you, but 10 minutes to go in this one. Going to be a good finish here with, I think, the next 4 minutes. Does Dominican kind of put this game away, get it into double figures, and make it hard for Post to come back, although they have the three-point prowess? Or does Post now make the run and now make the push to make this a tight one down the stretch?
Well, I think there's enough time. I mean, if Coach Plefka hasn't made this decision to kind of change the defense and extend his defense, I wouldn't say he's going to do it yet. But, time is not an ally of the Post Eagles.
There are 7-point leads when the score's in the 70s, and there are 7-point leads when the score's in the 40s. And this is the latter, points more at a premium. And the layup is no good, but a foul on DeMarsico, and she got beat to the spot.
And you're right, and that's the best way to say it. Watch, good crossover by McQueen, and DeMarsico really didn't have a choice to not allow the wide open layup. She kind of slapped down and picks up the foul, and McQueen does not hit the first free throw attempt.
Just 3 of 8 for the line for Dominican, 4 of 7, now 5 of 8 for the Eagles.
And here we see full court pressure.
Breaking it quickly and getting it across. Here's DeMarsico in rhythm. 3 is short. Eubanks tips it to Haynes.
And it wasn't a great shot. It was contested, and it was everything that Coach Plefka would want, a rushed 3-ball by DeMarsico.
Rebound is fought for, and it'll be a held ball that'll go back to Dominican on the alternate possession.
Nice job by Kayla Howard forcing that tie-up.
Passed ahead to Howard.
And that's a good decision by Kayla Howard once they broke the pressure. Run your offense, burn some clock, but get back into the rhythm that you had offensively.
Howard feels like one of the most unfreshman-like freshmen you've ever seen play on this level. Like, she just kind of has that next level thought process going on things she needs to do.
But you know what? You said it about another player yesterday. You know, you're a freshman, but you played 29 games, whatever it is. You're no longer a freshman. And I think that's really, really true about Kayla Howard.
Haynes brings it across. Eubanks. McQueen. Back to Haynes. Number 10, Haynes. Haynes bodied. Haynes. Go ahead, shoot that three. Too strong, but the offensive board by Simmons.
Well, Dominican's gotta get that rebound there. Every rebound now is critical.
Eubanks. McQueen flips it out for Simmons for three. Dejanay Simmons, a junior from Houston.
And there you go. Getting that offensive rebound, that second chance, gave Simmons the opportunity to knock that three down. And here we go, 2 minutes in. The lead's down to three.
Levy. Cross to Suarez. Gets a screen from Teklitz. Howard. Nice stop. Howard. Off glass won't go, but the foul. So good move by Kayla Howard to draw contact.
And Dominican needed that. You know, Post hasn't turned Dominican over with this pressure, but what they've done is they've upset their rhythm. They're forcing their offensive possession to be run with less time on the shot clock, and they haven't been in the same rhythm. Good job, though, by Kayla Howard drawing that foul.
First one good by the freshman from Naugatuck, Connecticut. Kayla now with 13. And it's a 47-42 5-point lead. Some pressure here by Dominican. Simmons has it in the front court now. Back to McQueen. Simmons. McQueen tries a three. And hits her first of the game. First points of the game for the grad student out of Roselle Catholic, transfer from St. Peter's University.
Now, back-to-back threes by Simmons and McQueen. And the lead is down to two.
We have no experience with close games here in this tournament. We'll have no idea what to do with it.
Unbelievable.
Levy, down to 5. Suarez gets the roll.
Boy, posted everything right on that possession. And Suarez gets the leaner to fall.
10 points for the junior. Here's Haynes. Haynes. Back to Simmons. Simmons. Eubanks. Eubanks jumper. Rolls out. Washington taps it out of bounds.
Well, and Post right now, they've got some nice impetus on the offensive end, making extra passes. That shot by Eubanks, just not able to go down.
Mills with it. For Levy. Suarez. Tried to get backdoor feed. It went out of bounds off a post eagle. And will stay with the Chargers with 11 to shoot.
Well, Dominican clearly has been affected by post full court pressure, but let's see here if they can get a big basket out of this out of bounds play, and they most likely won't. But look at Levy getting that steal.
Suarez for a big three. Suarez for a big three.
Suarez hits it, but credit Olivia Levy wrestling the ball away to keep possession.
Back to a 7-point lead for the Chargers. Here's Haynes. What will her answer be? Her answer will be a missed three, out of bounds, but Take
All
a
right,
look at this
we're going to
again.
take a look on the inbounds pass. It looks like there's going to be a steal, but watch Levy get her hands in there to wrestle it away from Simmons, and then a great pass by Mills on the skip, and Suarez knocking it down. As clutch can be for the Chargers.
Suarez gets it across. Here's Mills, and a timeout called for by the Chargers. So what, Coach, do you think Bill Diener is kind of going over now?
Well, I think it's probably more on the defensive end, making sure of their assignments and reminding their girls, his girls, look, guys, we got to finish. And if Kyle Jarrett, you see the assistant coach Kyle Jarrett talking and with the marker board, this is defense that they're talking about now. They're not talking about offense, they're talking about defense. And the last thing that needs to happen in defensive possessions is rebounding. Some offensive rebounds have started to be had by Post. I think Coach Jarrett is saying, come on, guys, make sure there are no gaps in our zone. Make sure that we defensive rebound. And you see when Billy Diener gets in the huddle, he's that calming influence. Hey, guys, we're good. Look at him. He's smiling. He's talking as much as he is coaching right there.
Post with a 37-32 rebound advantage, but as you mentioned, 13 offensive boards, which for Coach Diener, I'm sure you want the number to be 0, which it'll never be, but probably too many. But as you mentioned, discussing finishing the play, the defense doesn't finish with the great play until you've collected that rebound. 52-45. Chargers with the ball and the lead. Levy gets it back. Here's Suarez. Howard. And Ducaba, a little give and go to Howard, but she couldn't get it. But luckily, Johnny on the spot was Tanisha Mills. Here's Mills. Howard for 3. Rattles out. Tipped around. Rebound by Haynes. Haynes waits for teammates.
Good job to make the extra pass by Dominican Howard. Just
Simmons
missing.
the 3, no good. And a tie-up's going to stay here. See it again here. Scramble.
Yep. .1 seconds, gets it into
Simmons. Simmons now to Haynes. Haynes. Step back. Either a held ball or it'll be a held ball. As then Ducaba got her hand in there to be able to block it down.
Great call. And Ducaba was able to get her hand just as Haynes was about to shoot the ball. Watch her get her hand right there to not allow that basketball to get up to the basket.
Mills leaves it for Suarez. 4.5 to play now. Suarez lob down to Ndukaba. And Ducaba flips it back out and travel.
Well, you know, and it's a tough call against Ndukaba because she had lost her balance. Let's see if she does travel here. Yeah, I think it's a good call.
Look awkward enough that they might want to call it that way.
Yeah, and she was fumbling the ball, so it was close.
Here's Haynes. Pagan back in, just set that screen with her 4 fouls. Haynes. Eubanks finds a little opening. Off glass, won't go. In traffic, great rebound, Olivia Levy.
Olivia Levy has played like a post player today, not like a guard in the way that she's rebounded the basketball.
Suarez takes it to Pagan, no good. Haynes the defensive rebound. Now breaks out with some numbers, 3-on-2. Haynes all the way in.
And Ndukaba thought she needed to go and get out to a shooter, but Tanisha Mills was standing right there, and she allowed Haynes a wide open look at the basket.
5-point lead, 3.5 to play. And Ndukaba drives on Pagan, lays it in.
Well, Ndukaba wanted to make amends for that mental breakdown on the last play, and a very strong move going right at Pagan, who has the 4 fouls.
Haynes, and a foul on the outside.
That's on Levy, and that's her 3rd.
Been a clean game. You know, we have not seen either team in the bonus, I don't think, in either any of the quarters.
Wow. I mean, Levy does have her arm extended on Haynes. Such a tough call to go against her, though.
Nice move to elude the defender, and Eubanks scores the basket. And for the 3rd time, a timeout by Coach Plefka following a made bucket.
Jerry, I know everything that you said earlier about, you know, if he needs to talk to his, I don't like these timeouts that Coach Plefka has utilized in these situations. And look, now he's got 1 left. If we're, you know, in a 3 or less point game, under a minute left, he doesn't have the ability to advance the basketball. Wow, I really, really have to question the timeouts in that situation there. But as you pointed out, maybe we're going to see a defensive change. Maybe we're going to see something different out of this timeout that Coach Plefka just called. Great move by Kiara Eubanks on that last basket, little up and under.
Yeah, I love the way she got the defender to kind of commit, let her go by, and that gave her the open look to the bucket. And Eubanks with 5 points. As the Eagles try to crawl back in. Chargers have led really wire to wire here and just kind of been staving off the challenges. Been a couple of them. 5-point lead with the ball. Here's Mills. Pass is knocked away by Pagan on the trap.
Well, and first time that you saw a little double team here in the front court, and Tanya Pagan almost was able to get the steal.
Here's Mills. Howard tried to get it to Teclis. It was kicked, but no call by White.
Wow. Looked like it was a kickball.
Haynes, long 3, parries it. Whoa, Sharia Haynes loves to shoot from out there. She can hit that, and she does.
And just like that, you know, that non-call has now brought this back to a 2-point game.
Suarez answers but can't finish. Offensive rebound and a foul.
Boy, Alexis Suarez, what a great little hesitation move, and the C's open for her to get to the basket, and she just misses the layup. But watch Kayla Howard get in there and get that big offensive rebound for her team.
Second foul on Eubanks, second team foul. So right now, start thinking about when you get into the situation, a team might have to commit a couple of fouls to get to the situation where they're putting a team in foul or putting a team at the free throw line. But right now it's a 3-point difference with 1 more coming for the freshman. Hits both.
Well, those were 2 big points for Dominican as Post had cut the lead again to 2.
Here's Eubanks. Eubanks spins. Haynes, another really long 3. This one rattles out. And here's Howard, 2-on-1. Howard all the way to the bucket, blocked away by Eubanks.
Billy Diener wants a foul call, but no way on this one. Watch this great block by Kiara Eubanks.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough body there for that to be a foul. That's a great hustle play
block
by Kiara Eubanks. In a big situation, under 2 minutes to play. Suarez. Little arm bar. So second on Simmons, third team foul on Post. May not be that big of a deal because in this situation here, at some point they're almost gonna need it to get to 5.
And I was just gonna say that's not that bad of a foul just for that reason.
It's a fresh 20, but it was still high in the count. Here's Levy, Tecklitz, Mills, Tecklitz, 5 to shoot, Tecklitz, pass down low, knocked away from Howard and a foul.
Boy, what a great pass inside to Kayla Howard as the shot clock was running down. Great pass, and you see the body by Tijane Simmons. And Kayla Howard will go to the line.
Just enough in the act of shooting there. It's kind of a catch and shoot at the same time, so they'll give her the benefit. And it is the 4th team foul, so common fouls from now through will be of the 2-shot variety. But Dominican with just 2 fouls, depending on the situation, might make sense to commit if they need to. As Howard hits the big free throw. Every point here just changes the complexion of things. A 5-point lead, a 6-point lead are very different on what you want to do on this offensive possession if you're Post. And it's going to be knocked away and then a scramble, and Post's going to come away with it down by 5. 100 seconds to play. Haynes. Simmons. Haynes. Way out on her. Haynes. Again, not the worst foul.
And I was just going to say that. And there you go. There's that foul that you were talking about that really doesn't hurt Dominican all that much.
Other than it being the 4th on Olivia Levy, so something to check on here in the last 106. And if we end up going to a 5th period, which has been known to happen here on this floor during this tournament. Oh, pass down to Pagan. Underneath, draws the trap. No foul, though. Looked like she drew a lot of contact. Coach Plefka seems to believe there may have been contact.
Wow. Tell you what, that's as close as it could be to see as Pagan catches it. She ended up underneath the basket. Wow.
Tough, Howard came behind, kind of had all ball, but there may have been a lot of body.
And DeCava might have gotten her with the body.
Second foul on McQueen, so now it'll put Howard at the line here. And, so let's start counting possessions. Right now we're at 2. Still at 2, and this is a huge one right here for Kayla Howard. Now, and Post is very proficient at 3-pointers and probably wants to do that anyway. But this makes them need to make a 3 in one of these next 2 possessions. Maybe not necessarily this one, but for sure in one of the next 2. Simmons. Let her drive. Oh, kicked away. Great play by Suarez. Here comes Mills.
And
Mills is fouled.
And I'm sorry, Jerry, that's a great decision by Tanasia Mills, knowing time and score, not needing to have to go to the basket. Watch the play by Alexis Suarez right here, poking the ball away from Simmons. And then the heady play by Mills to not go to the basket. And Simmons has no choice but to commit the foul.
And with there being only 3 fouls, we were just saying if she happens to miss that, and get a foul, it's not shooting.
Exactly.
Very different situation than if there were 4 fouls. And that way, even if she misses it, she stops a layup. Mills hits them both. It's the biggest second half lead of the game for the Chargers. They're up 9, 61-52. Needs a 3 here somewhere. Here's Haynes. Further out is Allen. Allen lost it. Here's Suarez. Gets it ahead to Ndakaba. Underneath, layup, Howard! Dominican can taste it. 27 seconds. The crowd of the Dominican side is on its feet. Long 3 won't go. Ball's tipped out of bounds. It'll be Post ball.
Wow. And they are feeling pretty good in Orangeburg, New York.
All of Rockland County, really.
Yeah. 18 seconds away from a title.
Haynes scoots in, gets the roll. Last timeout taken. 13.4 seconds separate the Dominican University Chargers, the #2 North seed, came into this tournament having to beat the host Jefferson Rams, #2 in the entire region. Actually, let's go back. Had to play a home game against a really good Chestnut Hill team. Start with that, and Chestnut Hill, with, even though it was the 3 against the 2, at least as highly regarded, let's say, as this Dominican team, similar records, wins that game, comes here, wins the game against Jefferson, and now they're 13.4 seconds away.
I think you make a great point. You know, that Chestnut Hill team was the second-ranked team in the region a year ago. Brought back a lot of players and had a really good season. They were the only team to beat the Jefferson Rams in the regular season. And you're right, Dominican played extremely well Tuesday night to defeat them. Obviously, we saw them here yesterday knock off the top-seeded Rams in Jefferson. And here they are, just 13 seconds away from their second CACC title in 3 years.
Dominican lost to the eventual champion last year, U Sciences. They've qualified for every CACC tournament, not just since Bill Diener has been the coach, but since their Division II days, 20 years. And the final seconds are going to run off, and we're going to have a net cutting by the Dominican University Chargers, the 2022-2023 CACC Women's Basketball Champions.
What a tremendous 2 days for Dominican. And Jerry, they were the best women's basketball team this weekend in the CACC. They deserve to cut the nets and punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament.
This is why you play the games. This is why you play the tournament. And yeah, 9 points, what have you. But we had a 2-point game with a couple of minutes left in the game. And Dominican doing what they needed to do down the stretch to get the win. Congratulations to the Post Eagles on a fantastic season. Head coach John Plefka, he's got a lot of these kids coming back. It's going to be a fun year for them again next year. But all kudos here to what this Dominican Chargers team has done here over the last 3 games in this tournament. Tuesday winning at home, Saturday, yesterday winning here on the home floor of Jefferson in front of all the hostile fans, nice fans, but a hostile crowd in terms of rooting for you or against you. And what a great finish here today. I know not what John Plefka wanted here, but he has to be super proud of what his team has accomplished as well.
Absolutely right. The Post Eagles, a tremendous season. You know, they bring a lot of players back. And, you know, you got to look for great things from them. As you mentioned, you know, 3 semifinal appearances in a row. Now, getting to the final this year, it's a great program that he's established in Waterbury, Connecticut.
Down on the floor, it's Bill Diener with our own Andrew Byrne.
Coach, you won this title in the spring of 2021. Is it more special this year with all the teams back in the league and now your strong fan base here in Philadelphia?
Well, that was a great championship because it was during COVID. And that took a lot to win that one. But, yeah, this is real special because this whole experience that you get down here, you know, get to travel with the banquet, you know, get to play a semifinal and a final here. You know, yeah, any championship is special. You know, we talked about the process with these kids all year long about just getting better and better and being the best team in February, and they just made us look real good. So, yeah, real excited for our program, real excited for our kids.
How about your freshman, Kayla Howard, 21 points, 8 rebounds in the championship?
Yeah, you just watched her grow throughout the year. I mean, and not only a good player, but just a dynamic kid. You know, a great kid. And for her to come and perform the way she did as a freshman on this revenue, man, it just says a lot about her.
You told us, as you just mentioned, you wanted to be the best team at the end of February and the end of March. How were you able to preach that early in the season to go on this ride?
Listen, it's tough. It was just every day, and especially when we faced adversity, and then trying to figure out some of that emotion. But you just keep, you know, reiterating it back to them, and they bought in, and here we are now.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll hear from Kayla Howard shortly, but for now, back upstairs to Jerry and JR.
All right, guys. Thanks so much, Andrew. Thanks so much. This right now, you're getting the all-tournament team selections. Great stuff there from Coach Diener. That's some stuff he talked to us before the game. We had a chance, all of us, to kind of circle with Bill and talk about what this means to his team. And he said some of the same things. The experience. This league, I think, really just does it right. And you get the teams together and you play a tournament with everyone together, and let's let the team that plays the best win and represent the conference. There's right now for sure 2 and the outside chance, possible chance of 3 teams representing this conference next week in the NCAAs. But just the experience for these kids to be able to come down here, win these 2 games, and be the champion. I think Bill Diener really summed it up well.
Yeah, and I think, he mentions it about the process, and it clearly is when you know you're going to have ups and downs. Jerry, you broadcast a ton of games. I did more this year, and I did a couple of games at Dominican this year, and I saw them up and down in both of the games that I did, and those were in January. But let me tell you, this is a far different team today than I saw 5 weeks ago. And that's a credit to the staff and the kids. They understood that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And his preachings of it, Billy's a great guy, but he's also a very introspective guy. And it's more about X's and O's in terms of getting the team across the finish line. He cajoles, he fathers, he nurtures, and all of those things brought this team to this point today. Couldn't be any happier for him and for his kids.
Alexis Suarez, just a second ago, you saw her introduced as the tournament MVP, and now they're introducing the individual members of the champion team, getting their championship awards. Kristen Teclis there picking up hers, and Alexis Suarez. She's just in tears. It chokes you up to see how emotional everybody gets.
Yeah, I mean,
look at Endicaba.
Well, and Endicaba, big 2 days for her. She had 9 points today, but I mean, she was as big as, Kayla Howard and Alexis Suarez. And again, the person we really didn't talk about today, because, they wouldn't be here not for Angelina DeMarsico.
Yeah, the three-pointer, and look, everyone contributes everywhere along the line, and it could be in this game, it could be in a game early in the season, it could be in practice. It could be one of these players who we didn't talk about because they maybe didn't play as much, but maybe there's things in practice that they help their teammates get better, and that's what makes a championship team. Everyone together. And look, Lena said it yesterday in the interview.
Yeah.
The way this team loves each other.
Yeah, I mean, and it's all about doing the right things. It's all about getting hot at the right time. And you see the banner, you see the ticket being punched, and you don't know what else is going to happen in these young women's lives in terms of athletics moving forward. But today, this is something that stays with you forever.
It's a fancy punched ticket there for Dominican. As you see there, Doug DeBias putting that together, and Dominican able to punch their ticket. Not sure where they'll be playing next week on Friday. There's a couple of different, maybe Southern New Hampshire and maybe Assumption. There's a couple different places that it could be, but right now, they don't care where it is. They're getting on a bus, going somewhere next week, Coach.
Exactly. The best thing about this is they're going to practice on Tuesday. They'll probably be off tomorrow, but they're going to practice on Tuesday, and they get to keep staying together as a group.
Fancy ladder comes out, and one after another players will pop up. We'll see if Andrew Byrne grabs one before they come up. Yeah, we're going to go ahead. We got Kayla Howard. The great Kayla Howard. Hey, Byrne, go for it.
Thanks so much, Kayla. 21 points in the CACC championship game, a member of the all-tournament team. What are you feeling right now?
I'm just really excited. I'm really happy for our team. It's a great feeling of accomplishment, so I'm just really happy.
Coach tried to keep you guys loose by dancing in that pregame huddle. How did you come out against post free and easy and get it done today?
We've just been keeping the same mentality every game, going out hard, starting strong, and I think doing our little dance moves, anything like that helps.
Every time Post went on a run, you or Alexis Suarez or Tanasia Mills had an answer. How were you guys able to respond so quickly?
Our mentality is NBA, next best action. So whenever we get down, we just keep going, keep fighting, don't give up.
Guys, Coach Bill Diener was dancing before the game. Now Dominican as a team is dancing into the NCAA tournament. Back to you guys upstairs.
Hey, Burn, great job down there. Looking forward to your call of game number 2. Coach, any last thoughts before we go to the table?
It's always a pleasure working with you. Just three great women's basketball games and a very deserving champion. And I love what Kayla Howard just said. NBA, next best action. That sums it up for Dominican. Great 3 games, partner. Well done.
JR, same here. Appreciate always working with you. Looking forward to the second game today, which will take place about 30 minutes after this whole ceremony and all is done. You see Lena DeMarco there clipping down the net. And we are going to now take it over to Mike and Tim at the table. Guys, we're ready.
Wow.
We're ready.
Jerry, JR, wonderful job on the broadcast here with the championships. And
you guys said it all.
They did. And the next best action will be happening in the NCAA tournament for this Charger team. If you could talk about, Mike, what a game. They came away here. And that second half, it got close. This was a 2-point game. I think it was a 7:45 mark, if I wrote that down correctly. But some big plays here down the stretch.
Free throws down the stretch. Howard made 3 out of 4. Mills made a pair. The guys talking about it all weekend long. Who's making free throws in the clutch times? Howard, boy, 21 points. When we mentioned earlier, who's going to be the person today that you're not thinking, we know about Mills, we know about Haynes. Who's going to be the next person? Well, she just had an amazing game. I look forward to watching her play in the future in this conference.
Oh, absolutely. Wonderful performance for Howard. Alexis Suarez named the MVP of the tournament here. She had, I believe, 19 against Jefferson, 14 today, and she set up her teammates as well for the number of assists. So a strong performance, and she had that technical foul.
Yes.
But she got her group together.
Oh, you saw that on the monitor.
Yes.
Absolutely. No, it's on me. Emotions got the best of me, but I know let's keep it together. Let's get it across the finish line. Next best action.
I like that.
I might have to keep that in my coach's notebook. I love that.
We'll use it in life.
Yeah, really.
Tremendous Suarez, and it got close. This was a 2-point game, and she went on that run, if you recall, Mike. Just a tremendous run. She hit some shots here, a 3-point shot at the very least. I think 1 or 2 threes. She hit 1 3 and a basket after that, but she was really a strong performer there down the stretch.
Yeah, Simmons hit a 3-pointer from post. Then McQueen hit another 3-pointer, and then Suarez came back. Clutch 3-pointer. That's what I had in my notes. I think Ben said it, to get it back to 52-45. So it was, wow. Big players make big shots at big times.
Coach Diener talked about, it's something Sixers fans know about, but you trust the process. But when he's talking about that with his team, he's trusting in what they do, and now we have the results of that process, Mike.
It is great. And I'm sure they will be together as a group watching the announcement. They'll do the regional call tonight, I believe, or tomorrow, and then they'll do the NCAA show. And you're watching the defensive coach of Dominican cutting down the nets. It was interesting to see the timeout and the comments made by our staff about the coaching staff on the Dominican side.
Right.
Who's talking about what. This is what you're doing here. This is what you're doing here. There's professionals in the huddle to get us the information we need so we can go out and execute. Yeah, hats off.
Oh, yeah, the entire staff. You mentioned the assistant coaches, the offense, the defense. Coach Diener will get his shot to cut down the net. I'm sure that's coming up very shortly as we watch here.
A championship game that did not disappoint. Jerry Milani, has always commented that it's a great weekend. It's a great atmosphere. Coach Diener said the same thing. The whole experience down here, the banquet, the teams that are on site, just the juice in the building. And you're right. I had said it before. Sometimes, this might be the high point of some of these players' playing career.
Right.
And to go out as a CACC champion is just great. But there's more basketball to play.
Yes.
They've got to figure out the NCAA tournament. They're going to regionals next weekend somewhere. So Keep your shoes in good shape. Maybe put in some new laces, get some new socks.
Right, exactly. Get those dancing shoes ready because once you're in the tournament.
Oh, we've seen it before.
Oh,
Anything can happen.
Any level. We saw it this weekend, and when you get up to the big stage there with the NCAAs, you just never know who you get on a particular night, who's hot.
Absolutely. You keep grinding away. You got a lot of people on that team that make shots, that can get to the basket, and that just soak up the game of basketball.
So now I believe Coach Diener is going to has the scissor in hand.
Oh, he gets the last one.
As he should. Coach Diener with the applause from his team.
Boy, they got the camera right there on him.
Cuts down the net.
Congratulations, Coach, for winning the 23rd CACC Women's Basketball Championship. That's a great picture right there.
That is beautiful.
Holding the trophy, holding the net.
So congratulations. The Chargers are the CACC champions. When we come back, it'll be the men. Another tough act to follow. All these games have been tough to follow, but it'll be the men. Jefferson taking on Caldwell. That is coming up at about 2:30 or so. So for Mike Andrusen, for Jerry Milani, for Ben J.R. Dinalo, and, of course, for Andrew Kern, thank you very much. Here on the CACC Network, powered by BTV, we will see you for the men's game.